Hey YouTube, what's up? Pewsily here, coming at you through Olympia Yo, who everybody loves. Yeah. Awkward silence. Basically, like, I got loads of tech issues, so, Infernity tech profile for you. Woo! Went to Cardiff Regionals, it was 2 weeks ago from recording this, and came third with, as you can obviously tell, Infernity. So, just doing a deck profile because apparently everyone keeps asking Olympia Yo for them. So, I'm happy to help, yay! So anyway, jump into it. Got the crazy map, which is terrible. But anyway, obviously Infernity. 3 Archfiend, because he's the deck. 3 Necromancer, because you need to get back your Archfiend, because he's the deck. 3 Stygians, in case you have the Archfiend in your hand, because he's the deck. 2 Summoner Monk, who get you, like, Archfiend, because he's the deck if you need it, or this dude mostly. But Summoner Monk, basically, if you open Summoner Monk in a spell and you're going first, you win, to be honest. Is how I see it. And then 1 Gruffer and 1 Armageddon Knight. The 1-1 ratio is pretty good. There are some builds actually which like drop this entirely, up the Armageddon Knight and play 3 Stygian Street Patrol, which is kind of fun to play, but I don't like having too many monsters, so there's that. And then topping it off with 1 Archfiend Heiress, because sometimes you just really need to search the Archfiend, and it can search the Labyrinth as well, which is more important now. And then onto the spells. That's it for monsters. I think it's just 13. So you got 1 Launcher, obviously, 1 Rotor, because you need to search your dudes, 1 Foolish, because sending Stygian is really good. And if you open Foolish and like a Stygian or something, you can Foolish this and search your Archfiend. So that's a play. And you've got the 1 Labyrinth to search for your Heiress as well. So I've dropped Transmodify because it's just so win more, but this is searchable. And makes your Archfiend's really big as well. So he's cool. More spells is 3 MST, just because it's basically staple right now. 5 Fister, too popular. But this does have a pretty good 5 Fist matchup anyway, because Barrier is incredibly good. And then 3 Instant Fusion. The reason for 3 is because it essentially lets you quote-unquote dodge Veiler, which is pretty big. So say for instance you open like Monk, Instant Fusion and another spell and an Archfiend, you can go Monk, use the effect, they Veiler, you Instant Fusion for a level 4, go into level 4 chain, send the Stygian, and you can use your Archfiend like normal. So they've lost the Veiler, but you still managed to go off, so it lets you dodge hand traps. You can pretty much dodge, well, I say dodge, but you can play around Max C if you have Exciton Knight, because you can go like Summoner Monk, discard for the effect, and if they Max C, you bring out a monster, like Armageddon Knight or whatever, and then go into Exciton Knight, so they've got 1 more card than you, and then you can nuke the field whenever they go to do anything, so that's a really good play as well. Summoner Monk, like I say, lets you play around hand traps. And the last spell is just the 1 Book of Moon. It was in there because Trapstun is seeing a huge amount of play, so being able to disrupt things under Trapstun is awesome. And I'm playing Trapstun as well, so that's a big thing. It is mostly traps though, so you've got your usual 3 Barrier, 3 Break. I've seen some people like even just going like this, 2 Barrier, like 1 Break, and don't really agree. I mean, I understand if you could like drop maybe 1 of these, probably the Barrier if you were going to drop any, to be honest, because it's a combo card, it needs some sort of setup. But Break is amazing, it's your out to any problem card, even big monsters, so anything with more than 1800 attack tends to be an issue, so there's that. You got the big staple 1-off traps, these 4. I did include Torrential because sometimes your hand is just so bad, and in my opinion Torrential is one of the best traps in the game. So it lets you play out of really bad hands and grind. During the whole event there were 7 rounds of Swiss, then the top 8 cut and the top 4 match that I played. I actually only got like a full wombo combo where you do like the massive level chains, labyrinths and everything. That only happened once. So like being able to grind out to make your smaller but still good combos makes Torrential really good. And then rounding off for sort of defense there is 2 Mirror Force, 2 Deep Prison. Deep Prison was like a last minute throw in when I cut the Transmodifiers because it's so good against Fire Fist, because obviously you can get rid of Bear and then they can't even Wolfbark it back, so you're effectively killing the Bear and any Wolfbarks that they have, so It's pretty good, especially if they tenkied for the bear, because then they've lost a tenki, a bear, and all the wolfbugs are dead. It kills so many cards in their deck. And Mirror Force is just good, even against like Mermail, etc. Anything that explodes. The last two cards are 2 Trap Stun, because I decided before the event I wanted to play any deck that could go Trap Stun, Exciton Knight. So you Trap Stun for the -1, and you go into Exciton Knight for the -1, and you nuke the field. Yeah, so I decided to play 2 Trap Stun. Although that is the reason I played 2 Trap Stun is just a fantastic card right now. Largely because of Exciton Knight, but it's a very scary card. The extra deck is 3 Larval Chain. There are times when you want the 3rd. If you don't have 3, you can cut it and play 2. But until extra deck space gets way too tight, I'm going to be playing 3. So that's pretty much all there is to it. There are combos that just aren't available to you if you only play 2, and sometimes it's just very nice to have 3. Obviously, Exciton Knight, it's like the most busted Exceed they've ever made. Maybe Shockmaster, but like this is just stupid. Like, went to the Worcester Regionals, that was this weekend, and I want to, like, opponent basically scooped just because I summoned this. It kills too much, it's just, why Konami? Anyway, there's then 2 Direwolf, because as I've explained before, 2 Direwolf allows you to do like the whole go into Levier, pop your own Levier to get materials in the grave, but it's also good because you can go Direwolf, pop your back row, make a second Direwolf, pop the back row. So if you have like an MST, you can use the MST and 2 Direwolves to hit 3 back row and still end with like Arcfiend, Necromancer and a Search Barrier. So it puts you in too good of a position. Next up was a Steel Swarm Roach, which is kind of like a tech choice. You can change this for something else along with the 3rd Larval Chain. There's a little bit of flexibility still in the extra deck. This was in there because I was expecting Hieratic Rulers to be pretty big, and I did play one. But the trouble is, even when I played it, I didn't want to make it. There was always something better to make. I mean, in my opinion, if you're making the Roach, it's because your hand is terrible, and all it takes is a Dragon Ruler to beat over it, because you can't use Roach on a Dragon Ruler summon. So, it's okay, but, I mean, you could play something like Crazy Box or something in case of skill drain. But, you know, it's okay. Next is Silent Honours, because this card is ridiculous. It outright replaces My Stroke, in my opinion. Like, rather than booking the monster, you just steal it, basically. And it survives the same 2 destructions, and it's bigger. So, you know. Master Key Beetle is phenomenal. Yeah, he's just big, basically, and dark just in case of Gozen if that ever crops up, which I doubt it would, but some people might side it against you. But there's just the fact that he's 2/5 allows for different OTKs to normal, protecting attack position Necromancers to keep your barriers alive is good, and protecting a barrier itself so that your opponent just can't MST it and then do their plays is also very, very good. The one sort of mandatory Abyss Dweller, mandatory, and the Gagaga Cowboy, you kind of have to do this because there are many times when you can put 4 monsters with 1,800 attack on the board, which is 7,200 damage, and you can Cowboy for game in main phase 2. So there's that. 2 Dweller. The only rank 3s, I was playing Zen mains, but I've literally gone into it less times than you could count on one hand. So it's obviously not doing enough for me, so I've cut it. You do need 2 Leviers. And then lastly for the extra deck, 2 Carrion Wizard. It's 2 level 4s and not a level 4 and a level 3, and no Barracks either. The 2 level 4s are to complement the 3 instant fusion. The level 3 that I've previously played, I've literally gone into once, maybe twice in all the time that I've played Infernity. So it's clearly not pulling its weight, and there's many, many times when you want the second level 4. There's an argument to be made for running the level 5 Barracks as well, because if you have Palabyrinth and Arcfiend on the field, you can instant fusion to the Barracks, and because he's a Fiend, you can target Barracks and Arcfiend to get a new Arcfiend and get a Search. Other than that, that's all it's used for, which I don't think is good enough to make the cut in my opinion, but the 2 level 4s were phenomenal, and I deliberately chose Carrion Wizard over like Dark Flare Dragon or anything like that, Dark Fire, sorry, because he's 1,300, so your opponent can't bottomless him. It's a very, very niche thing, but if you have, say, a Necromancer on the field, and no Arcfiend in the grave, so say for instance you have this, you have Necromancer and Arcfiend on the field, but you've got nothing in the grave for Necromancer to bring back. If your opponent has a bottomless trap hole, and you instant fusion for a Dark Fire Dragon, your opponent's going to bottomless that, because then you still can't do anything. But if you bring out the Camion Wizard, your opponent can't bottomless it, you exceed, and your opponent will bottomless that, and you can then bring the Arcfiend back with your Necromancer. So that's the reason I'm playing Camion Wizard. There's some theory behind it. It's very, very rarely going to come up, but there's literally no benefit to running Darkfire Dragon over Camion Wizard. But there are benefits to running the Camion Wizard, obviously. There's also that level 4 dude that you could run, and then tech in like a Blade Armor Ninja in your extra deck, because he's a warrior. So you can go like Dark Grepher or Armageddon Knight plus that warrior, just to put ridiculous damage. It's an idea, but yeah, I went for Camion Wizard to be truly safe. So there we are. That came third at the Cardiff Regionals. My matchups were... oh god, I have to remember now. Dark World round 1, which I 2-0'd. Noble Knights round 2, which I 2-0'd. Hieratic Dragons, which I 2-1'd. There was Mermail, which I drew with, because we went 1-1, and then time happened. I lost to a Bujin. I beat Fire Fist 2-1, and there was something else that I beat 2-0 as well. Might have been another Fire Fist. And then in the top 4, I beat Evilswarm, and then lost to the same... top 8, sorry, I beat Evilswarm, and lost to the same Bujin guy in top 4 again, who then lost in the finals. So, yeah, Infernity very good right now. Just because hand traps are seeing less play than they have in previous formats, and they're easier to play around. And trap stun and then exploding with amazing power cards is awesome. So there you are. Peace.